This is Chris Dodd recording a podcast for BGSU Class EDTL 6330. In this podcast, we'll be discussing NETS Standards 2, 2B, the effective use of research-based and learner-centered strategies, addressing the diversity of all students, and 2E, the appropriate use of differentiation. I believe both those standards, 2B and 2E, are closely linked and can be covered relatively with the same type of lessons. We'll start with 2B, the use of, and we're going to focus on for this on learner-centered strategies, which in essence is a student-centered classroom. The idea behind this is that the teacher is no longer the one standing up in front of the classroom, and they are not giving the sole. They're not solely responsible for the information. The student now is going to be responsible for getting the information or part of the information by themselves. The traditional way of teaching that most of us grew up with was the teacher stood in front, lectured, we took notes, then we regurgitated it back to the teacher on whatever day they chose. While this has proved to be effective at times, students have been changing, and their ways of learning have also been changing, and so our way of teaching needs to change. One of the easiest ways I believe to do this is by simply using what's known as a flipped classroom, which I'm sure many of you are aware of and know what that is. In essence, what it is you are reversing your classroom. You are taking what used to be the lecture, the meat and potatoes, so to speak, of your lesson in class, and you are creating a podcast or other sort of materials for the students to listen to the material on their own time outside of class. By doing this, this allows the student the ability to re-listen to lessons, have an archive of those lessons should they need to slow down the lesson or review it at any other time. In the class, what you would then be doing, instead of lecturing and giving the students their knowledge and having them take notes, you will then be creating some type of activities for the students. In these activities, and this is how it becomes more student-centered, you actually are able to have more one-on-one individual instruction for each student. You can tier your assignments in your class. So the higher level students would be doing a more advanced project, and the lower level students would still be getting the bulk of the material that they are required to get and need to get, and you can have that time to work with those lower students in a more conducive setting, rather than sending them home with homework and then having the students struggle and then trying to fix the problems the next day. Another thing that can be done, which this is where it ties a little bit more in with differentiation, is there is a website out there, it's called Newsela, Newsela, Newsela. If you go to newsela.com, you will find a list of current event articles. These articles are updated daily, and the best part of this site is once you find an article and you go ahead and click on it, in the right-hand corner of the screen, you will see that there is different settings or different numbers, and these are different reading levels for that article. They come with usually 4 to 5 different reading levels that the students are able to click on, and the article will actually change how it was written with the same information, but they will use a lower reading level for the lower levels all the way up to the max reading level. So your higher level students, again, can get that differentiated learning where now they are stretching their vocabulary and able to get some more information in there, while your lower level students are able to get, again, pull out the important information and not be lost in a bunch of words that they can't understand or struggle to understand. The great part about this website as well is you can actually use this as part of your flipped classroom. Should you be doing find a current events article on space. For instance, I'm on the website right now, and one says "Welcome to Jupiter." So if you're in a science class talking about the planets, you could easily incorporate this in your class. You could have the students read the article at home or at their own time. There's actually even a quiz that is also geared per level per reading level, which I found was a great tool. So not only are the students reading at their desired level or their level that they need, but they also are taking the quiz at their reading level. So you can have the students read the article, then take the quiz on their own at home. You could easily have them print it off or even screenshot it and send it to you for proof of taking the quiz. There is a way you can have your students sign up for an account as well, so that you can get the results from the quiz. I believe by using this website, you will find that readers of all levels will be able to access the knowledge that you would like them to access. And students in your classroom will gain an understanding of the main topics, and the ones who are able to will be able to stretch their knowledge of those topics while everyone is learning the same thing at the same time and at the pace and level that they need to. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Tune in next time for some more useful information.